Meanwhile, the NIA has told the court that Tahawwur Rana's interrogation was necessary to unearth a larger conspiracy behind 2008 attacks. It's also told the court that it has to look into the role as a planner. This is a case of conspiracy, remember, primarily for the attacks. NIA has said that as part of the criminal conspiracy, accused number 1, David Coleman Headley, had discussed the entire operation with Tahawwur Rana before the visit to India. Headley informed Rana about the involvement of Pakistani nationals like Ilyas Kashmiri and Abdul Rahman, who are also accused in the case in the plot. Remember, these 18 days that we are looking at will be very crucial. It will not be generic questioning. These are very specific questions that will be put to Tahawwur Rana, because he's the man who plotted. He's the one who decided with David Coleman Headley which location to strike, how and when, and precisely providing financial logistics support. And that is one of the reasons that even beyond Qasam, he'll be the one to be able to provide more information and how the whole thing can be put together. That's one of the reasons that the NIA team is telling the court that what Headley has told the investigators will now be corroborated further, added further in layers with what Tahawwur Rana will be set to reveal and, of course, will be forced to reveal. So that's the big question. 18 days custody for Tahawwur Rana, who plotted, accused of criminal conspiracy in the 26/11 terror attacks that led to the loss of 170 innocent people, remember. So many families destroyed, children orphaned, because this hateful radicalized mind wanted to simply target Indians, Americans, Jews and innocent people out and about on the streets. India Today's legal correspondent Anisha Mathur joining me for the latest on that. Anisha, tell me more about how the NIA has informed the court that how they need to uncover what happened in the case and how and why that will be very crucial this time.
Well, Pooja, Tahawwur Rana has been remanded to 18 days of NIA custody. Late last night, almost to 2:30 a.m. the proceedings were going on. Now remember, Rana is alleged to be one of the main conspirators in this matter. The extradition, he's been extradited to India after a very long legal process, and it took a long time and effort to get him back. The NIA's work with the FBI, the DOJ, etc., to get him back. And the biggest question is the link, the other conspirators, the other conspiracies against India and the terrorist network that Tahawwur Rana allegedly knows about. Now, he's supposed to be one of the 26/11 masterminds, and that is why the agency wants to find out the complete conspiracy. We've got the people who did the crime, who did that horrible terrorist activity on that date. We got those people, but we're still trying to find more of the conspirators, more of the people involved in the entire conspiracy, how they got here, how they came to India. All of that is still something that Indian government is pursuing, the investigation agencies are pursuing. So the NIA now wants to look into what Rana can disclose with regard to that case.
As Anisha continues to tell us, Anisha, just one more quick question. So the questioning begins, but 18 days later, NIA will most likely seek further custody too on this.
Well, that is highly likely, Pooja. Remember,
Yes.
under the law, the NIA can take maximum 30 days custody, custodial interrogation at this point of time. They've gotten 18 days right now. They'd asked for 20 days. So clearly, some investigation has to occur now. This is part of the legal process in India, that once somebody is taken into police custody for interrogation, after the custodial period ends, they have to go back to the court. The investigation agency has to show what has been uncovered, what are the avenues of investigation that they are pursuing, and why they need further custody. But in this case, especially since India has been waiting for several years to extradite Tahawwur Rana and get him back here for interrogation, it is highly likely that the NIA would ask for further custody at the end of the
Anisha, stay on with me, because I want to inform the viewer that NIA team is fully prepared. They've already had a dossier. They have the details. They have the evidence. Of course, it needs to be now confronted, corroborated with now that they have Tahawwur Rana in person. But the dossier in itself is so shocking that when you read through the details, and India Today has been putting that out, of how this man was first coordinating, whether from the USA, whether from Dubai, with David Coleman Headley, with Lashkar-e-Taiba in Pakistan. Then days before, 1 week before 26/11 massacre, he was here in Mumbai. He was in different locations with his wife traveling, including to Agra and Meerut. So therefore, remember, what is the job of the NIA? It's not just about Tahawwur Rana in Pakistan. Who helped Headley and Tahawwur Rana in India, in Mumbai? Whether it was visa clearances, whether it was providing Kalawa threads at the Siddhivinayak temple, whether it was arranging fake documents with Hindu identities, all of that will be a part of the strategy for the NIA team as well, to find out who exactly was involved beyond Tahawwur Rana here, especially in India. Anisha, one quick question to you as well. So, do you think the dossier will play a very important role here? The NIA team must be fully prepared. They've waited 17 years for Tahawwur Rana to return. But how different possibly do you think a Kasab trial or a Kasab questioning would be to a Tahawwur Rana questioning?
See, Pooja, there is a big difference between the Kasab trial and the Tahawwur Rana trial. We must be very clear about that. Kasab was caught red-handed at Mumbai in the middle of the horrific act that he committed. The trial for the person who committed the act and the person who masterminded, who did the recce, who did the planning, will necessarily be different. The evidence against Kasab was a very different kind of evidence.
Correct.
The evidence against Rana that the investigation agencies had to find.
Criminal conspiracy here.
Yes. The line of questioning that Rana will have to undergo is very, very different, because Kasab was the, if I can use the word, Kasab was the actor who was there in front of everyone.
He fired the shots, but who arranged it? Anisha, keep tracking the latest on this. Now remember, look how fair India is despite what happened. India is ensuring that a full-on legal trial with full-on protocol will be followed, even if it's a terrorist and evil mind like Tahawwur Rana. There is a defense counsel, an advocate who's representing Tahawwur Rana because it's part of a protocol. Let's listen in to the advocate here, Piyush Sachdeva.
We were representing him as remand advocates today. NIA sought 20 days police custody, and the court was pleased to give 18 days police custody for the investigations. All the medicals will be done on a regular basis, and medical checkup will be done when he's taken into custody and before he's brought to court on the next day.